Hi, and thank you for joining me. Someone sent me a private message asking about yoga for the knees and what they can do to eliminate some knee problems, but also to strengthen the knee to prevent problems as they age. So, first of all, the knee joint itself, when you have problems with your knee, it's usually not because of the joint. It's usually some kind of other imbalance in the leg, like tightness in this inner muscle here. It might be because of tight muscles in the upper leg. It might be because of tight calves. It could even be a foot injury. So there are so many muscles that are pulling on this joint that oftentimes the pain that manifests in the knee is actually an indicator of some other problem. So today what we're going to do is focus on a few poses that don't target the knee, so to speak, but will actually benefit the knee. It'll help it, you want to strengthen the muscles, you want to make the joint itself more mobile, improve your mobility, and also you want to improve flexibility of all the muscles that are in the leg. So let's go ahead and do that today. This will be, I think, a shorter sequence, but it will be targeted specifically on the legs. Alright, so as usual, let's go ahead and begin with just a few breaths to kind of bring ourselves to this moment. Close your eyes and to just, focus on what we're about to do and center your thoughts on your own body, your own breath. So just begin by taking a few easy, natural breaths. Feel how your body moves with your breath. As you inhale, your energy kind of rises upwards. As you exhale, your energy, your weight drops downwards. Just focus on that natural rhythm, natural movement. And then take a few deeper breaths. And feel how that deeper breath changes the rhythm and changes the movement and changes the feeling. You still get that rise and that fall. But because you're breathing deeper, a little bit of tension as you reach the top of that inhale begins to enter your muscles. And then as you exhale, see if you can just actively release that tension. Keep on a deep, deep, deep exhale. You feel the tension now in your stomach. A deep inhale. Feel how your body rises, your energy rises, and then there's that little bit of tension right at the top of that inhale. And then exhale and relax. And because of that little bit of tension, you can feel the relaxation of your breath a little bit more as well. So just take a couple breaths on your own and focus on that tension and that beautiful release. Okay, and open your eyes, and let's go ahead and begin. So we're going to begin with a couple of forward bends that kind of like are a combination forward bend and squat. Even though we're going to be sitting in this chair for a couple of poses, what we're doing is kind of the equivalent of a squat. So as you inhale, you lengthen your spine, as you exhale from the hips, you fold forward. And reaching first your stomach down, and then your chest,
and then your head. We're going to relax here for 2 breaths. Because this is like a squat, you're going to be feeling it on the inner leg and probably in the lower back. When you finish your 2 breaths, flatten your back, come up onto your fingertips, lengthen your spine, pull your stomach up, press your feet into the ground, and come to a seated position. Bend your head off to the side, and then to the other side. Get a little stretch in the neck. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, same thing again, folding forward from the hips. First the belly comes down, and then the chest, and then the head. Relaxing your hands to the ground. As you are folded in this position, the knees may want to drop towards the arms. Okay, see if you can actually do the opposite. Pull the knees away from the arms. And then come to your fingertips, long spine. Pull your stomach up towards your spine. This activates your core. Press into the ground with your feet and come to sitting. Relax. Okay, drop your head over to one side, straight, other side, straight, and one more, just one more of those. Long spine. Exhale, folding forward, hands to the ground, stomach down, chest down, head down. Take a deep breath here. And as you breathe, you can feel how your stomach expands, and that actually intensifies the stretch in your lower back, especially, but maybe also in your inner thighs. Come to your flat back position, long spine, belly comes up, and press into the ground with your feet. Come to your seated position, a little bit over to the side, straight, over to the other side, and straight. Okay, let's bring your legs together. So now we're going to actually focus on the thighs. And as your legs are just about hip width apart, just take your right knee and lengthen that leg. So you feel straight away those thighs are working. And bend. The other side. And bend. If that's too hard, just straighten the leg and then just bring it up like that. That's okay. And bend. Okay. Just bring it up as much as you can. And then when you're doing this, we're going to do 2 more of those. Okay, when you're doing this, you're sitting on the edge of your chair and you don't want to come back like this. Okay, keep your spine long. You want to be bent pretty much 90 degrees here. And bend, relax. Inhale, the left comes up. Easy breathing if you can. And relax. One more of those, okay? Just do it as best you can. What we're doing here is we're just strengthening these muscles. Okay? Because a lot of your knee, the health depends on the strength of your thighs. Okay, relax. And one more on the left. And down. So yoga is a constant battle in a way between strengthening a muscle but also lengthening it and stretching it in order to make it more flexible. So now after we've done that, we're going to lengthen this muscle. So turn to the side so that only your left buttocks and thigh are on the chair. And then just bring that right leg back, okay? So we're going to do a couple of things here. Long spine, and you take this knee and you just push it down towards the ground. So it's not actually moving, but you're just kind of pushing the knee downwards, and that activates this muscle. So you should feel a beautiful stretch right here. And then relax. And then the same thing again. Okay, the
right leg comes back just a little bit. This left knee is bent 90 degrees. Just take that right knee and just press it down. And you should feel really like from right about here all the way up the leg. You should feel a beautiful stretch. If you want to enhance that, you can bring the right arm up and back, maybe even lean back a little bit and relax. That feels so good. Okay, let's just do the other side and then we'll move into the next one. So go ahead and turn around. So now your right side is on the chair and your left leg is reaching back. Okay, the knee is bent. And now just take that left thigh, that left knee, and reach down towards the ground. Nice, easy breaths. Maybe check your mouth, check your eyes, make sure you're relaxed. Okay, relax that left leg. Long spine. Once again, the leg comes back. And then, as you exhale, press your knee down if you want, but only if you want. Bring that arm up and back. Okay, and the chest reaches up and back as well if you want. And relax. Okay, so just that alone should make that feel quite nice. But now we're going to expand that stretch just a little bit. So come back again with the left side of your body on the chair, but this time bring that right leg back as much as you can. And you can bend the knee at first, but the idea to this next part is that we're going to try to stretch that knee as much as we can without bringing our body forward. So go ahead and give that a try and then relax. This is a pretty intense stretch, so really just do as best you can, and if that means that you can't get that leg straight, that's okay. You just do it as much as you can. So let's try it 2 more times. As you inhale, you're going to lengthen that knee as much as you can, and take the heel and maybe press the heel backwards a little bit. And so you've moved the stretch. Maybe you still feel it here in the thigh, but you've moved the stretch to the front of the pelvis. Okay, and relax. That feels so nice. You can tell I really love yoga. Every pose I do, I'm like, oh, that feels so good. Okay, let's do that again. Inhale and lengthen that leg. Try not to lean forward. Try not to take here and drop it or twist it, okay? You want your pelvis to be kind of aligned, parallel to the edge of the chair. Stretch that knee as best you can. Again, only if you want, you can bring the arm up and back, and the chest comes back. Oh, that feels so good. And relax. Just take a breath to let everything kind of settle. And let's do the other side. It's getting a little bit warm now that I'm active, so let me take my sweater off. All right, let's go ahead and do this now on the left side. So you can start with your knee bent a little bit, and then, so we're going to do this 3 times. Inhale, lengthen that leg, long spine, deep breath, and relax. Be careful when you breathe that those shoulders don't come up and that you're not clenching your mouth. Okay, and again, inhale, lengthen the knee, maybe take the heel and press back with the heel. Oh, I see that you're not able to see my feet. Let's try it like this. A little bit better. And relax. Okay, last time. Once again, lengthen the leg. And then only if you want, inhale, bringing the arm up, not the shoulder, okay? The shoulder is relaxed. Your pelvis is parallel to the edge of the chair. And only if you want, you can bring your arm back and your chest reaching up towards the sky. And relax. Okay, so another one of those squats, folding forward, again from the hips, dropping the stomach first, and then the chest, and then the head. Inhale into a flat back, pulling your belly button up towards your spine. Press into the ground with your feet, come to your seated position. And once again, same thing. Exhale down.
2 breaths here.
And then you have your flat back, belly up. Press into the ground with your feet and come to your seated position. And go ahead and bring your knees together. So I think we're finished with the chair now, and we're going to do something for the bottom of our feet. I should have told you, but if you don't have a tennis ball or a baseball or some kind of that size ball, please pause the video and see if you can find one. Something like a tennis ball is the best because it's not too hard. A baseball is a little bit hard for what we're going to do right now. Also, you know what, let's do this one as well. If you have a block, get a yoga block as well. If you don't have a yoga block, that's actually easy. You can get a book, get like a dictionary or some kind of tall book. So let's do this one first. What we're going to do is we're going to lengthen and stretch the Achilles tendon and your calf. This is kind of an intense stretch, so be prepared. What you want to do is take the ball of your foot and put the ball of your foot on the edge of your yoga block, not the toes. Okay, you want the ball of the foot on the block. And then you drop your heel down. For some people, already this might be a really cool stretch. If you can though, we want to make it even more so. So you're going to press your weight onto that leg. Okay? So right now, my weight is on my right leg, and I'm feeling a beautiful stretch in my calf. I'm really flexible here. So I don't really feel this too strongly, but I know that some of you who are watching probably do. So this might be enough for you. Only if you can, you want to lift those toes of the right foot. Okay, there you go. That's even deeper of a stretch. And so now I feel this a little bit more. Let's go ahead and take a rest. Bend the knee, pull the heel up a little bit just to get some blood flowing in that calf. Okay, let's do that again. So the ball of your foot comes to the edge of the block, the heel comes down. If this is enough for you, you just stay here. Maybe this is enough and you just raise your toes, that's fine. If you can, you want to bring your weight over onto that right foot. If you can, you want to bring your toes up a little bit. But that's not all. We can still make it even a deeper stretch. So now, what you can do is take the left leg and walk that left leg forward so that now your weight is still on your right, but you're not back. Your weight is forward. And you can even take your bottom, take your pelvis and press it forward. And now, you should, if you're doing it like this, you should be feeling this so intensely. I actually feel it also in the front of my ankle. So stay here for a breath or two. Smile. I know it's hard, but you can do it. Okay, and go ahead and relax. So let's go ahead and stretch this area now. It's a very simple stretch. You simply take the top of your toes and put them on the floor. And here, let me do it this way. You take the top of your toes onto the floor, and then you take your ankle and your heel and you just push it forward. Okay, and that should be a pretty intense stretch all along in here. Now, go ahead and relax. We're going to do that one more time. All right, let's go ahead and get into position. So, the thing that people do here, because it's very, very difficult, go ahead and take your heel, press your toes gently into the ground, and then press your heel forward. Once you have that stretch, have a look at the position of your foot. A lot of people's way of doing this is like this, because this part is the part that's really going to give you the deep stretch. But that's what we want. Okay, it's a separate pose to do it like this, and we're going to do that. But let's go ahead and take that big toe, put the big toe on the ground, and press the heel forward. Okay, and now, to intensify that, you can kind of just roll it to the inside a little bit. Okay, and relax. Once again, just bring the heel up a couple times, just get some movement in the leg and the ankle. Okay, one more of those. Okay, and this time, drop the foot over to the side. This might be enough for you. You might, in this case, we're going to be feeling it along this side of the leg, the outside of the leg, and the outside of the ankle. Okay, but if you want, you can try to straighten the knee. Just move around a little bit. Everybody has a little bit of a different tightness in this area, depending on the kinds of shoes, how you walk. Okay, so now for the last part, if you can, pull that big toe up. I don't know if you can see how. Okay, so once your ankle is bending over to the side, go ahead and pull that big toe up. Okay, and the last one, go ahead and just do a little bit of movement. You can even do some ankle circles here. All right, let's go ahead and do this on the other foot. Take the ball of your left foot onto the edge of the block. Bring your heel down to the ground. Okay, so here again, your right and your left side may feel completely different, and that's perfectly normal. So let's just begin by doing this. If you're interested, you can bring your toes up. That might intensify the stretch a little bit. If you can, bring your weight over to your left leg. Take a breath or two here. Watch out for your bottom. Sometimes people will do this pose like this because it takes away the stretch. Keep your pelvis straight and your spine long. And keep your weight right centered over that leg. Okay, let's take a little bit of a rest and bring the heel up. Okay, one more. Go ahead and bring your weight onto that left leg if you can. Bring your toes up. If you want, you can bring that right leg forward and then bring your hips and your belly forward. Your chest can come up. Couple of breaths here. This is hard. It looks so simple, but this is a really intense stretch. So if you're feeling it, if it's too much, back off. One more breath. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that ankle stretch now. Take the tops of your left foot onto the floor and just gently press it into the floor, and then press the heel forward. Make sure that your leg is not angled like that. Couple breaths. The action of taking your heel and pushing it towards the front of your mat or towards the video that you're watching, that's what gives you the intense stretch here. Okay, let's go ahead and take a break. Okay, you can bring that leg up and down a little bit, get some blood flowing. One more time. Pressing the heel forward. spine, making sure that you're not angled out like that, and maybe take the inside of the heel and just press it a little bit over to the right. Feel that? I mean, you can feel like just that little bit of movement changes how you feel this stretch. Okay? Some of you may feel a little bit of a cramping in the bottom of your foot. If that's the case, just bring that heel up, or maybe even reach your leg back and press the toes into the ground. Okay, last one. This time we're going to drop it over to the side. And again, make sure that you're not leaning forward like this. Keep a nice long, straight spine. And if you can, go ahead and bring that toe up. You can play here with your leg too, like maybe straighten the leg a little bit. All right. Legs together. A little bit of a come on to the tops of your toes. So now we're going to actually work those muscles that we just stretched. Like I said before, keeping your body healthy, especially your joints, is a combination of, and relaxed, keeping the muscles strong, but also flexible. And one more. If your balance is a little bit off, if you're kind of doing like this, one thing that you can focus on is taking the inside of the knees and try to pull the knees together. Try to imagine that you just have one leg. And down. Okay. Let's do a little bit of a test. We've done a little bit of work on our legs, and I'd like you to just, keeping your legs together, just bend forward and do a forward bend. And just kind of remember how far you can go forward in your forward bend. So for right now, we haven't done much of a warm-up, so for me, I can go about this far before I start to really feel my legs tight and my hamstrings. They're not screaming, but they're kind of moaning and complaining right about now. Okay, so go ahead and bend your knees and come to standing, and just remember that feeling, and remember how far you could bend forward. So now take your tennis ball or whatever ball you have, and just take the bottom of the right foot and put it on top of the tennis ball. And stand on top of that, put your weight on top of that, and then just rock the ball from the toes to the heel. Okay? And you can move it all along the side, to the inside of the foot, to the outside of the foot, maybe up at the toes, like maybe you can even just kind of imagine you're squishing it into the ground. Okay, find those little spots that really scream out to you, like, whoa, massage me, massage me. Okay, and then everybody, take the ball to the outside of the right foot, so that the inside of the right foot is kind of dropping in a little bit, and press down here. You'll be surprised at how good this feels. Maybe actually it hurts a little bit, but it's not a bad pain, I hope. If it is, then just kind of straighten your leg a little bit, straighten your ankle a little bit. Okay, and just rub that ball, take that ball so that it's going from the pinky toe right back to the heel. Okay? And then do the same thing on the inside. This is a little bit harder, but what you want to do is take the outside of the foot and just drop it down a little bit. And then the inside of the foot is going to be pressing onto the ball. Okay? And then you take the outside of the foot and you pull it up, and you press the inside of the foot on the ball. Again, here is like a crazy screaming pain, but in a good way. Of course, if it really hurts, then don't do it, okay? All right, so now let's do that forward bend again. Putting your legs together, okay, and bending forward at the hips.
Fold forward. Now, I hope that you can feel a difference between your right leg and your left leg right now. My left leg is just as tight as it was a minute ago when I bent forward. But my right leg is so much more free. Okay, bend your knees,
Come to standing. So that shows you in that one little activity how connected all of the muscles and the tendons are, and the fascia, which I don't know if you've heard about. You know, that's kind of a big issue these days in yoga and massage. But the idea is that, you know, by massaging the bottoms of our feet, we have actually freed up the energy all along the leg. And that also includes, of course, the knees. So by doing that, you can do that every day. It feels so good. But by doing that, it actually really helps to keep your feet, your ankles, and your knees really healthy. So let's go ahead and do that on the other side now. Take your left foot onto the ball and just, you know, in general, just explore the bottom of your foot. Just find where you particularly like to have this massage. For me, I have an injury on my left foot. So my left foot, when I do this, is so much more painful than my right foot. I mean, basically, the entire foot needs this massage. Okay, go ahead and just work out a couple of the little kinks. Find your own spots that you like. And then let's go ahead and everybody take the inside of the left foot and just drop it down to the inside. And then take that ball from the pinky toe. Oh, wow. Right along the outside of your foot to your heel. A couple times. I'm always surprised when I do this how my foot, even though it's healed, or been healed for a couple of years, is still in pain. It just goes to show, you know, you can heal, but it leaves an impact. And that also might affect your knee. You know, if you have knee problems, it may actually be from something that happened some years ago. All right, let's go ahead and do the other side. So now we're going to start by dropping the outside of the left leg down to the ground and then rolling the ball on the inside of the foot. If it goes like that, don't worry about it. Everybody does that. Just go catch it, bring it back. And now we're going to try the other side. So now you bring the outside of the foot up. Okay, so your ankle is actually moving, and then you once again roll. Oh, and if your fingers are doing this as you're, that's normal too. Okay, ooh, that feels so good. Okay, and finally, go ahead and just kick your ball aside. And let's go ahead and do one more forward bend. And now we should feel much looser in both the right and the left leg. Okay, exhale, folding forward from the hips. Dropping down. So, yeah, so now I feel it again, like my hamstrings are limiting my forward bend. But just from that massage, I can now fold forward with a certain amount of freedom that I didn't have before. Okay, bend your knees and come to standing. Let's go ahead and do two more poses that will help strengthen here, and then we're going to try to lengthen the inside, and actually the outside too, so 3 more poses. All right, let's go ahead into what's called chair pose. So you want to imagine that you have a chair here, although a few minutes ago we did have a chair, so you can actually bring it over if you want. But the idea is bring your arms up to just kind of in front of your face, keeping your knees squeezing together. Go ahead and bend the knees and kind of sit back a little bit. Okay, so right now you should be feeling your thighs working. Inhale, come to standing. Exhale, bring your arms out to the side and your chest up. You can just kind of twist your shoulders a little bit. Exhale, relax. Okay, let's do the same thing. Inhale, your hands are going to come in front of you. You can look right between them. Exhale, squeezing the legs together. Okay, go ahead and sit back. Reaching for that chair with your bottom. Now, think about your toes. Are your toes grabbing the mat? Okay, if they are, there's two things you want to do. Press into the ground with your heels and maybe just raise your toes up a little bit. Maybe if you can, sit down just a little more. Come to standing. Okay, bring your pelvis forward just a little bit. Your chest up, your arms back. And once again, just kind of twist your hands, twist your elbow, twist your shoulders. And relax. Okay, one more, just one more of this. Inhale and exhale. Go ahead and sit back. Keeping your hands in a prayer position this time. Okay, so you don't want to be forward like this. That's probably why your toes are gripping. You bring your weight back, you lift your toes a little bit. Okay, and now we're going to just take that right hand and just reach it down in front of the right foot. Come back. Exhale, take the left, reach down, come back. Can you do one more? Take the right, reach it down, and back. I know you're screaming right now. And the left comes back. I should call this screaming yoga. Inhale, now your arms come up. Exhale, maybe sit a little more. Inhale, reach your arms up and your pelvis forward. Squeeze your shoulder blades together just a little bit. And relax. Now we work these, so we want to do another stretch. You can choose how to do this. If you don't want to do so much balance work today, just hold on to your chair and grab your leg and just pull the bottom, pull your heel in toward your bottom. So we're stretching these muscles now. And do the other side. Okay, one more time. There's a couple things to think about. Taking the right hand, and the right foot, pulling it up. Make sure that your left hip is not reaching out like this, okay? You actually kind of want to take that left hip and pull it over towards the right. And the right leg is actually pulling in towards the left. So you're kind of, again, trying to keep that straight line. If you want, you can try to bend that elbow and pull the elbow behind you. That gives you a little bit of stretch in your arm. And let's do the other side. Okay, take that left hand and grab the left foot. Okay, don't let the right hip drop to the side. Pull it in. Take the left knee and pull it into the inside of the right leg. You can take that elbow and maybe pull the elbow back. Try to point behind you. Oops. Oops. Okay, and down. All right, so now we really don't need the chair. And the next things that we're going to do are one more activity for the inside of the leg and the outside of the leg. And if you have done our other videos, I think we've done this before on a different video. So if you can sit in this pose comfortably, please, let's just do it that way. But if it's uncomfortable for you, if you sit like this and your legs are up here, it still might be comfortable, but let's just go ahead and sit on a block or two so that your legs can be like this, down, all right? I'm just gonna sit on one. So let's begin first with a couple of stretches in here. We're gonna fold forward just a little bit, and then you're going to take your right elbow, bend your right elbow, and press into the ground with your left hand so that your body is kind of reaching over towards the right. You should be feeling it right in here, in the left side of your body. Now, your left bottom and leg might want to come up, even if whether you're on the block or on the floor, but it's okay if they come up, but don't relax them. What you really want to do is imagine pressing them down into the ground, if you can, and come back. Let's do the other side. Watch those shoulders, okay? Exhale and take the left elbow, bending it to the left so that your body reaches over to the left. Taking the right leg, pressing it into the ground. The right buttocks down into the block or into the ground. And now you're going to be feeling it in the right side, just above the pelvis and back. One more of those. Inhale. I'm going to do it without the block this time. Okay. Exhale, bending over to the right. And back, and bending over to the left. And back. Let's change sides. So now the left leg, your opposite leg is in the front, bending forward, same thing again, 2 times. Bending, in this case, the left elbow, so your body is moving over to the left, back to the center, bending the right elbow, that feels good. Pressing into the ground with your left hand, that gives you a little bit of extra push, and back. Of course, if there is pain in a knee, come out of the pose, and you can actually just kind of stretch it like this, and then just do one side, okay? And let's do one more on the other side. So going over to the left, pressing your right buttocks into the ground, watching those shoulders, back, one more time over to the right, and back. All right, and now doing those stretches. So here's the pose that I'm pretty sure we've done in another video. We're going to take this, you need a belt, a towel, a strap, and you're going to put it on the bottom of the right foot. Lengthen the left foot, okay? And take the right hand holding the strap, and just bring your leg out to the side as much as you can. And then back into the center. So the thing that we have to be careful of here is when you drop your leg over to the side, don't roll to the side, because you're not going to get the stretch in this part of the leg. So you're actually focusing on the left side at the same time that you bring your leg over to the right. So in this case, if you can do this, if you can keep your left side down to the ground, you're going to feel the stretch in the inside of the right leg, but you're also going to feel maybe a little stretch in the left side that we just stretched with those, okay, come back, when we were doing those bending the elbow poses. Okay, one more. Over to the right. And when you're here, you can, if you can pull the leg up towards your head a little bit. You can put your elbow onto the ground to give you a little bit of support so that you can move your leg a little bit. Okay, bend the knee, relax. Take your knees, both of them over to the right and then over to the left. Okay, let's do the other side. This time your left
leg is gonna go up to the sky, your right leg is gonna be straight. You're gonna focus on keeping the right side of your body pressing down into the ground. And then the left leg comes out to the side. Just as much as you can, don't go too far. Back into center. Exhale over to the side. Pressing the right side into the ground. Back to the center. And then this time over to the side, we're gonna stay here for about 4 breaths. Okay, here's where you can put your elbow on the ground if you want. And maybe, only if you want, maybe just kind of move the left leg a little bit. Bring it, if you can, closer to your head. If not, just, this is a pretty intense stretch too. So, just do the best you can. Okay, bend the knee and go ahead and bring your knees both over to the left and to the right. Okay, the final pose is we're going to sit again in this position. If you're on your blocks, instead of having your blocks like this, you might want to have them like this, and if that's too low, then put a pillow on top of that. I'll do it on here so that you can see how it goes. Okay, take the right leg forward, grab the right leg with the left hand, and then bring the right leg as far as you can over to the left. So this is where we're going to feel a stretch all along here. And relax. Okay, you can relax in any way. The same thing, okay? Grab the right hand, the right foot with the left hand, and just straighten that leg as much as you can. If you want to add a little twist here, you can, but you don't have to. I mean, this can be really intense already. And relax. Last one. Leg comes up. Stretch that right foot. You can pull a little bit if you want to intensify the stretch along here, but you also don't have to. A little stretch if you want, a little twist if you want. Okay, down. Let's try the other side. Okay, take your left foot with your right hand and stretch your left foot off to the right as much as you can. Stay here for a breath or two. And relax. And again, stretch. You can do a little twist if you want. And relax. Okay, last one. Stretch. Twist if you want. Go ahead and pull a little bit with that right hand if you're ready for it. Okay, and relax. So, if you have knee pain, the last thing that you can do is just take your fingers and just just massage like the inside of the right knee. Okay, if you do that, I mean, you'll find that painful place. Okay. Oftentimes there's a big muscle right here, and you can start with that big muscle, but if you can, take your thumb and kind of find the edge of that muscle, and then try to get your thumb under the muscle, and that's where you really want to massage, because that is the massage that will most affect your knee. Okay, if you have knee pain, that is often the spot where that pain could originate from. Okay, and then you can do the same thing again on the other side, on the outside. You want to find the
edge of that big muscle there. You can massage the big muscle too, but it's actually the edge of that muscle that you kind of want to get your fingers under. I mean, if you do that, you'll feel it. Okay, so go ahead and try the other side. Let's do first the inside of that knee. Okay, and you'll feel like just, keep massaging right up until you're like, oh, okay, that doesn't feel so special anymore. And then go ahead and take your thumb and try to get under that muscle. That's intense, and you probably are not going to want to press too hard. To be honest, it's better to press harder than you want, but it's up to you. Maybe if you do it the first time, you're like, no, no, no. But after a couple of massages, you might be able to add the pressure. Okay, and then let's do the other side. So first go ahead and do the big muscle. Okay, and then take your fingers and try to get under that muscle. And it's kind of like you're under and pulling up. Okay, man, if you're a runner, that is probably gonna feel crazy intense for you. Oh man, see? It's nice to see that even the one who's teaching you the pose still feels it. Okay, on that note, let's go ahead and relax and rest. So you can lie down flat and take a few minutes of Shavasana. If you choose not to do that, then go ahead and just come into a seated position, either on a chair, in this position, or on your blocks and pillow. Close your eyes and take a couple breaths here, focusing on your breath, but also maybe focusing on the release that you feel in your legs and feet. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So, do this pose a couple times a week, and if you do, I believe you'll feel a difference in your knees. Your muscles will become stronger, you'll have a little more mobility in your knees, and you'll feel a little bit of release in those muscles that are traditionally tight. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Namaste.